Namaste. Welcome to another session of Read Dnyaneshwari along with me. I am going to read today from chapter 7, OV 68 onwards up to 102. Shri Krishna is explaining. Now, Arjuna, to cross this delusion of Maya, including greater principles, and be one with me, how can this be achieved, this river of delusion, which started from a cliff in the mountain of eternity with the outburst of desire? A small bubble of 5 great spirits is formed in it. It flows in the form of stream of natural expansion, catching speed from the swallowing power of death. Between two high banks of life, that is natural growth, and death, that is retirement. It, because of heavy rains from clouds of attributes, gets great flood of temptation and carries away towns of rules and regulations. In the simple language, or because of craving for pleasures according to one's own liking, he gets carried away and forgets religion, which contains many eddies of hate, turns of envy, and shining big fishes in the form of young women. It contains banes of family life, floods of action and inaction, planks of happiness and sorrow are floating in it. Then the waves of desire burst on the island of goddess of sex. There the foam in the form of living beings is seen continuously, young ones being born out of sexual union. It contains great rapids of pride, which gets boosts from 3 dogmas of education, heritage and wealth. Thus, this river gets waves after waves of desire. Where the rise and fall of waves cause ditches of birth and death, there bubbles of bodies from 5 spirits form and disappear. Where indiscretion and confusion swallows the bait of religion like fish, and apes of ignorance rotate in circles. Where clouding by delusion sticks beings in the mud of hope, and movement of passion echoes the heaven. In this river of delusion, which is difficult to cross, there are great rapids of wickedness and the stability of truth, very solid. The waves of recurrence, that is rebirth, burst on the fortifications of the world of Brahma and rocks the stones in the cosmos. Due to speed of water, the flood continues non-stop. Who could cross this flood of Maya? There is a surprise here about this Maya river. Whatever device you make to cross, in fact, it becomes harmful. How it becomes harmful? Listen to that. Many entered in it to cross with the strength of his arms of intellect. No one knows their whereabouts. Many others disappeared in the pride in deep pool of knowledge. Many others took a boat made of 3 Vedas, but they carried with them huge stones of pride. All of them sailed into the mouth of fish of intoxication. Some others tied cloth of youth. They got carried away by god of sex. The crocodile of desire chewed them up. Then they are caught by a net of intellectual deterioration in a wave of old age from all directions. They crash on the banks of grief and get caught in whirls of anger. Then, where they surface, they are pricked by vultures of dangers. Then they are smeared by mud of sorrow and get stuck in the sediment of death. Those who run after sex thus get lost. Many others tied float of offerings, that is yajnas, to the stomach to cross this river. They got caught in the caverns of pleasures of heaven. Some others relied on the strength of arms of actions to swim to the other bank of liberation. But they got caught in between diction and interdiction, where a boat of non-attachment doesn't enter, bamboo of discretion doesn't reach the bottom. There, sometimes, yoga in 8 parts might help, but that is rare. Thus, to cross this river on your own strength, how should I describe this? You can treat a disease of a man who doesn't follow instructions, or if a monk were to know the tactics of a vicious man, or if a greedy man will abandon wealth just found, or if a council of judges were afraid of thieves, or if a fish can swallow a bait hook, or a timid man can attack a ghost, if a fawn can nibble off the net, if an ant can cross Mount Meru, then only these beings can see the other bank of Maya river. So, hey Arjuna, like a libidinous man can never win a woman, these beings can't cross this river on their own. Here, whoever worshipped me by heart, they only were able to cross this river without any efforts. For them, river, water in the form of Maya, dried up on this bank. Whoever has a mentor to guide, those wearing a proper fitting dress of self-experience and have obtained a vessel of self-address, those who have left the burden of ego, escaped the breeze of suspicion, and checked the water of ebb of affection, those who found the path of knowledge in the shallow waters of union of soul and eternal spirit, and thus jumped to the other bank of detachment, breaking water with hands of non-attachment, balancing with belief, I am that. They came out on the bank of detachment with ease. Those who worship me thus, they were able to cross this delusion, but they are a few, not many. Thus, Shri Krishna told how to cross this river of delusion or river of Maya and get to the union and to the state of I am that universal spirit. I will stop here. Thank you very much for attending our session. And if you really want to understand, you need to read these small pieces again and again. Thank you very much.